Hi, everyone. I'm here with Leslie Faerstein. My name is Len Glassman, and Leslie and I had met a few weeks ago, perhaps a couple months ago, and we hit it off right away. And we felt that there was some type of a connection between the type of work that I do, the type of work that she does. And it was interesting when we started to dialogue that although we come about addressing the issues that we're about to talk about very differently, given our backgrounds and our professions, that we have a lot of commonality. So we thought it would be really interesting to come up with a program where we both basically candidly talk about issues of women, aging, and body image, and how to plan for a healthy and vibrant lifestyle. So that's the screen you're looking at. We have questions that we came up with, and Leslie and I are going to be talking about those questions from our perspectives, and then sort of dialoguing very candidly. This is not rehearsed. So with that being said, I'm going to switch over to a different type of screen, and we're going to introduce ourselves. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Len.
So I'm going to let you go first because ladies go first. So why don't you introduce yourself to everyone and just give some background of who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Okay, thank you. Hi, well, I'm Leslie Faerstein. I've been working with women for probably the last 40-ish years. I started out by working with eating disorders, started the first New York State licensed mental health clinic nonprofit for women with eating disorders back in the mid-'80s. And so this has always been something that's interested me. I've worked in the nonprofit sector my whole career as well, but have always maintained a private practice working with these issues. And as I've gotten older, probably as I got into my around 66, 67, I really became aware of what the images are of older women and how we see ourselves in terms of our own body image. And so for the last year, I've really been focusing on that topic, women aging and body image. I've been doing writing, I've been writing blogs. I started a new website, and this really does seem to resonate with so many of my peers. And when we talk about aging, it's aging at any age. I'm recently turned 70. So I've gone through a lot of years of dealing with body image and, and aging. But I'm thrilled to be sitting here with Len and to be able to share some of our thoughts from our own years of professionalism and perspective.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like Leslie and I really hit it off, and it's interesting how her background so different than mine, but we ultimately come to the same conclusions in terms of how to address a lot of these issues of self-esteem, body image, aging. There's no way around it, right? Everybody's facing it. Everybody has to deal with it, and a lot of people deal with it. Some people deal with it better than others. And so perhaps we could share some secrets and some tips on how to, sort of quote unquote deal, with this idea of how your body changes and what you can do about it, how exercise and fitness and perception and society and all of these sort of interrelate to each other. And, between the two of us, I think we'll really enlighten people about how to go about this. So just a quick bio about me. My name is Len Glassman. I am a health and fitness professional, 25 plus years. I'm a certified master level trainer, as well as a certified health nutritionist. In a nutshell, this is my life. It's my passion. It's my work. I believe wholeheartedly in the idea of using fitness and body movement and using your body in a way it was designed to be used to enhance and fulfill your life and your dreams. And that's really what how I focus on my work and my training, and who I work with is to change your physical outlook on life. So a lot of people start from within and they start thinking about how to change their mindset. My feeling, my approach is you change your life from the outside in. You start with working on your body because most importantly, I feel as though you need to develop a positive relationship with your body for other aspects of your mindfulness to sink in, or else you're too distracted by your physicalness, by the way you look and the way you feel and the way you move. So I kind of look at it more from an intellectual standpoint, perhaps. I've got a bunch of diplomas back there, but we could talk about that another time. I do believe though that the idea of using very basic movement patterns, very simple ways of looking at fitness will keep you motivated and allow you to do this for the long term, not the short term. I'm an author, so I'll throw that in there real quick. I'm the author of a book called Soul Trainer, and it's fictional fitness. So it's a series of short stories that take place. Well, it takes readers on a journey, basically. And it's about 3 characters that I created from aspects of my own life where they find fitness as a way to overcome insurmountable challenges. And they basically allow the reader to look at these characters and use them as a source of inspiration so that you as the reader can kind of look at them and say, oh, wow, I get what they're going through, and hopefully use that as a way to change your own life. So we're going to get started with the questions. So bear with us for a second as we change the scenery, and I'm going to start us off back at, all right. And Leslie, you can see that, right?
I can.
All right, excellent. So we're going to go to the first question. And here is the first question that Leslie and I are going to answer. And I'll start off by reading it. So on the top left, I haven't exercised in quite a while, and I don't know where or how to start. So I end up doing nothing, which only frustrates me more. All I want is to find a way to feel strong and healthy and comfortable in my body. How do I accomplish this, and what's the best way to start? Hey, that's a great question. All right, I wrote it. No. All right. So I'm going to start off. Leslie's going to chime in. All right. And hopefully, a lot of this will resonate with you guys. So here's how I'd start off. Think of simple movements as exercise. Okay. Don't think of exercise as anything different than what you normally are doing every day. Walking, standing, sitting, bending, lifting. That's exercise. Don't think of it like a formal process, like, oh my gosh, I have to exercise. No, just think of movement as exercise. So that is the key to keeping your muscles and your joints and your bones healthy. It's moving them as much as possible throughout your day. And the other key is to undercomplicate your exercise approach. Okay, so I do offer a program, and it is called the Mindful Movement at Home program. Okay, and it's basically all you need is a chair and a wall. I mean, that's it. There's nothing else. So anyone's trying to sell you on fancy equipment and some fancy program or bike or what have you, honestly, it's not necessary to get you to get started, to get you to also continue financially, with an exercise program that you can stick with. So the other suggestion I have is to break up your workouts into small time increments. Okay, so usually pain and discomfort are triggered by fatigue and overuse. Okay, and this idea of pain versus gain, scrap it. Okay, that's garbage. All right, it's all pain, all gain, no pain. Okay, we've been programmed to think that if we're struggling and in some kind of pain, that it's working and it's worth it. but exercise does not have to be painful. All right, before, during, or after. And again, it's by simple movement patterns, you'll start to gain some strength, some stamina, some flexibility while eliminating pain. So I don't know, Leslie, you have anything you want to throw in there, or have you had some experiences before with some of your patients, perhaps, that have gone through some of these things?
I think so many people have gone through these things. And what I really like about what you're saying is that we think about exercise as being this like big deal, and who wants to do it, and it's going to hurt, and I don't care, I'd rather just, read a book. Um, and breaking it down the way that you do, I think, is so helpful. And I wish more people heard it that way. I know so many of my clients, talk about exercise as though it's just terrible. I mean, I have to do this. I don't want to do it. I have to do it.
Right.
And so I think that if more people could think of it the way you do, and that it's not painful, it shouldn't be painful, I think that would be really helpful, to talk about it the way that you do, and not in some, I gotta go pay for an expensive gym, I've gotta go. And especially during pandemic, gyms keep getting shut down and opened up.
Well, that's for sure. Definitely. I agree with you there.
I think being able to think about what can I do here with a chair and maybe some bands, or as you said, some inexpensive aids to do it, it just makes so much sense. So
yeah, no, I'm glad that approach does work. I assure you. Less is more. Okay, a chair, a wall, couple of bands. All right, it's about technique. It's about simple movement patterns. All right, and here's what I'll leave off with, and we'll get to your question next. Short-term gains, long-term objectives. All right, repeat that to yourself. Short-term gains, long-term objectives. All right, you want to lose 5 pounds, great. Okay, but that's not going to sustain you in your health and fitness program. Taking the time to do things that you want to do, your hobbies, spending time with your family, maintaining your independence, traveling. All right, long-term objectives, right? That's what's going to keep you on the straight and narrow. That 5 pounds is not going to really matter one way or another 5 years from now. Okay, so really think about it from that perspective. It really kind of changes your mindset. So, all right, Leslie, you're up.
Thank you. Okay. Here's a question that I've encountered. I have struggled with my weight my whole life. My mother did too, and she lived on diets and diet pills. I'm still overweight and uncomfortable in my body. I think I've tried every diet that ever existed, and I'm the first to try new ones. Diets don't seem to work for me. How can I start to make peace with my body? Well, my first response would be, I am so sorry that both you and your mother have struggled with this and suffered with this for so long. And of course, diets don't seem to work for you, because diets basically don't work. I'm of the opinion that diets just cause a whole cycle eventually of breaking out of the diet, possibly going on a binge, trashing yourself for why didn't I do better? Look what happened. And then going back on a diet. It's really hard to live with restriction. And that's basically what diets tell us to do. So that my approach is to eat with your body hunger, stop when you're satiated, kind of work out where is your satiation point, and make all foods equal. Now, I know that's kind of crazy, that chocolate's the same as chicken or cauliflower, but we have made certain foods exciting. So you don't say to your kids, or we were never told, hurry up and finish your ice cream so you can have broccoli.
Uh-huh.
So all of a sudden, ice cream, so for us, it's hurry and finish your broccoli so you can have ice cream. So that certain foods get a real charge, and those are often the ones that we look for. They're also sweet, they're high carbs. But if we listen to our bodies, and I think the thing that's so interesting about Len and I working together this way is that, I mean, this is where you live. And so many of us treat our bodies as not really ours. One of my favorite quotes is, if you talk to your friends the way you talk to your body, you would have no friends. And I think that's that's what we often do to ourselves. So I would really love to see you and your mother breaking out of the whole diet cycle. I mean, that's why you keep trying everyone that's on the market. Yes, it'll work. You'll lose some weight, and then at some point, you're like, I can't do this anymore. So if you start to think about what do you want to eat when you're hungry, when you feel hunger, what do you want to eat? Is it soft? Is it crunchy? What am I looking for? Um, and then start to open the world of food up, um, and test it out. Eventually, if you're eating with your body hunger, stopping when you're satiated, you will lose the weight. You'll kind of get down to your set point at a certain point, um, because your body knows. I think you really have to become a partner with your body and listen to what it's telling you, not trash it and say awful things to it. Um, so that's basically my perspective. Len, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I always say diets die, nutrition never fails. So when you learn about nutrition, right, that'll sustain you your whole life. When you learn what the food does, that once you ingest it, and how it works and where it goes and how it powers your body, and you just don't take it for granted. You don't just stick it in your mouth and then forget about it, right? You start to take an invested interest in what you're eating and why you're eating, when you're eating, what combination of foods you're eating, and then you're vested, in your eating habits. If you
Mm-hmm.
just follow along some diet that someone came up with, that's sort of, just a generic way of eating, you're never going to be fully invested in it. You're just going to do it because you feel like you have to do it. But like everything else, education, and taking the time to learn those things, they never go out of style. And that's really what a lot of what I teach, and that's really how my clients learn to be successful when it comes to weight management, is they take on the accountability of learning about nutrition with my help. And they start to realize, oh, I never knew that when I eat that, this is what happens, and this is why I feel the way I do. And then, oh, when I didn't realize that there's different types of ways of eating before and after a workout, or if I've skipped workouts, what do I need to do to maybe maintain my weight because my metabolism isn't as ramped up as when I'm working out, right? So when you start to take on that, and I'll say it, responsibility for your weight, then you start to realize, wow, I can kind of control it rather than have it control me.
Right. And I think the other thing that we don't do is taste our food. I often will do an exercise with people with Hershey's Kisses. And I'll say, eat a Hershey Kiss, eat it, quickly, and then take another one and just savor it. Roll it in your mouth, roll it around your tongue, really let it melt, taste the Hershey's Kiss. And then the question is, do you really want another one after that? And often the answer is no. I mean, that was good, but we never do that. It's like, just keep popping them in our mouth. And quick.
I'm guilty for that one, definitely.
Well, I'll work with you, Len. But
so
we don't.
I'm sorry, go. What did you say?
But we really don't taste our food. We kind of just eat it mindlessly, not mindfully.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're gonna hopefully continue this series. We have a bunch more questions that we're gonna get to, but we're gonna start with this. And if you would like more information about Leslie and myself, if you simply click on the web links that are at the bottom of each question, you'll see that it kind of like points to like a finger, and then you should be able to go directly to our websites from the presentation. If that's not a way in which you're able to or want to get in touch with us, Leslie, how can people get in touch with you?
you can email me at lesliefaerstein@gmail.com, kind of like my website, only with Gmail in there. And that's probably the best way, and then I'll get right back to you.
Great. And for me, you can email me at len@lenglassman.com. So similarly, you just stick a Len and then an .lenglassman.com. You can get a hold of me that way. You can also reach me on my business line, which is area code 908-789-3337. So I know Leslie and I are looking forward to hearing your feedback, and this was great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Leslie. And we're gonna sign off and leave you with our beginning slide that we're both very proud about, and we hope you enjoyed this as much as we did.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Whoops. Let me get rid of that and that.